Múin 5. Inspire, imagine, create.
Grew up in Salt Hill, really near the beach. Our house was only about a 5-minute walk away from the beach. So our whole life growing up was kind of, surrounded by water, in and out of the water, swimming and going onto the rock pools and, collecting shells and stones and all that kind of thing. Travelled and lived in other counties, and I've lived in other countries, and it was kind of always looking, where's the nearest water? That was kind of like home to me. I was always kind of looking for the nearest river or the nearest lake, or it seems to be when you're kind of from the coast, you don't like to be closed in. So even now with my own children, our walks are very much around the beach, and we would go towards the Burren and Clare, we go over to the Flaggy Shore, or we might go to the Coral Beach out in Connemara. So it's a huge part of what's ingrained within me, which then comes out in my work. My work is very organic. I don't really use very many straight lines. It's all very kind of curved, and I like my work to have an organic feel to it. In school, art or anything creative was my happy place. Absolutely loved it. Did do a ceramics course, I did a painting course, so it kind of fired up my interest in creativity. And I did life drawing in the Galway Art Centre in town in Dominic Street, and I had an amazing teacher, and she saw something in me, and I think it was really the passion and the excitement. I couldn't get enough of it. So she kind of encouraged me to look at doing maybe a foundation course. Life drawing, batik, ceramics, we tufted rugs, we did metal work, got to throw. So it was an amazing opportunity to kind of try all of the media, and I couldn't get enough of any of it. Like, the ceramics teacher said to me, I think you have a flair for this, you should try this. The metalwork teacher said to me, I think you have a flair for this. Jewellery and metalwork seemed to kind of be the thing that was pulling me the most, and I had a little bit of a grounding in it. And just coincidentally, the Crafts Council of Ireland were running their first jewellery skills course when I was finishing up in Thomastown. So it was kind of almost like, it kind of aligned for me. So I applied for it, and I was really lucky to get onto the jewellery course. And that was the beginning of what's kind of led me to where I am today. I went to the local enterprise board here in Galway, and I went and just sat down and chatted with them and told them what I was thinking, that I'd like to develop a couple of collections for retail. They were so helpful. They just couldn't do enough. They have so many courses that are really, they're very practical, they're very, they do Instagram courses, they do Facebook courses. They have an amazing grant scheme to that they offer to, you can apply for a grant to build your website, which I have done. I ended up doing their business course a couple of years ago, and I had previously done business studies way back a long time ago, and I come from a business background. My family have been in business for a long time, and I have worked in that business, so I do have a very strong grounding in business as well. I had been out of the game, let's say, for a long time, and I felt I needed to kind of just refocus from a business point of view. So the business course in the Enterprise Board was fantastic. It really kind of gave me the confidence to kind of, I can do this again. While I was doing the business course, I sat down and I started going through old sketchbooks and started designing and working through. I wanted to design collections that definitely had the signature of me and my work and my design work, but I also had my business head on, and I was thinking about price points and something that's easy to wear in the day. You can just put on a pair of earrings and a pendant and forget about it, whereas my bigger pieces, they're kind of, they're not the kind of pieces that you'd be wearing kind of going into town, shopping and running around for the day. They're more pieces that you might wear in the evening, or at a kind of a slower event. The point is to try and make a living from it. And that kind of then led on to an opportunity to do showcase with Leo. So I was lucky to be chosen as a group of us went to showcase, and I was lucky enough to do that for they do a 3-year cycle, and I was lucky enough to do that for 3 years, and that was an unbelievable opportunity. Where I'm from here in Galway in the west of Ireland and living so close to Connemara and the sea, I'm very inspired by landscape. So my work has a lot of kind of organic kind of curve feel to my work, and touch is really, really important. We're so lucky here that when we go for a walk we get to be by the sea, and in some of my pieces you can see those influences. Piece of silver sheet is made by machine. It's rolled out by machine, so when I get it there's definitely a machine finish on it. So the first thing I do when I get a piece of silver that I've bought from I would texture it straight away to kind of put my organic stamp on it. The textures that I would use would be very reminiscent of the textures that you'd see on the stones and the pebbles in the beaches around Galway. One of my concepts was based around protection, about protecting yourself from kind of the outside world. And one of the design ideas I came up with was kind of little kind of holes, and it's all about kind of looking from the inside out. You're kind of protecting yourself, but you're still looking on the outside and giving a little bit of yourself to the environment around you. Those little drill holes that are across all my work now, that you can see that now, they're coming from both of those places, from the concept of protection, but also from the design that I almost lifted off these pebbles, of these tiny little holes that you'd find in these pebbles. I feel really, really lucky that I get to do something I absolutely love, and that I can build it so that I can move to a place where I can make a living out of it for my family. Sometimes I could be walking down Shop Street or Key Street and someone walks past me and they might have a pair of earrings I've made on, and I get a huge kick out of that. Like that's amazing. Sometimes I can't even, I'm like, oh God, I actually made that, and I don't know who this person is and they're wearing my jewellery. It's a great feeling. I love it. As soon as I sit at the bench, it almost centres me. It just centres me straight away, and I kind of feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. This is who I am. It just feels like home. It feels right, and yeah, it definitely calms me down, and I don't feel stressed when I'm sitting at my bench at all. There's a real sense of peace and satisfaction. It's done. I can relax.
This video was brought to you by Creative Ireland, Local Enterprise Office Galway, the IDA West Region and Galway City Council. Múin 5. Inspire, imagine, create.